morning, the United Kingdom woke up, and its entire army was simply gone. No soldiers, no tanks, no defense force standing guard, just silence. How long would it take before the whole country felt it? The first hours. It starts quietly. Military bases across the country fall silent. Gates that were once guarded now sit wide open, swallowed by fog. For the first time since the Second World War, Britain, a nuclear power, a G7 nation, a founding member of NATO, has zero ground forces.
Breaking news spreads. Within hours, the story dominates every headline on the planet. Newsrooms scramble. Analysts struggle to explain the unexplainable. How does one of the most powerful militaries in history simply vanish overnight? Nobody has an answer. And that uncertainty terrifies everyone watching. Empty skies, empty runways. At Royal Air Force bases, fighter jets sit untouched on empty runways. Dust settles where pilots once walked. Britain's air power, NATO's weakest link. Britain isn't just any country. It's one of NATO's core pillars. Without its army, the alliance's entire northern defense line weakens overnight. Allied nations are forced to rush their own troops into British territory, not to help Britain fight, but simply to hold the ground it can no longer protect itself. The coastline no one is watching. Britain is an island. Its coastline has always been its first line of defense. But now, watchtowers stand empty. No patrol boats, no radar crews. Just open water stretching toward a nation that suddenly can chaos on the streets. Back home, most people forget the army isn't only for war. It responds to floods, terror threats, and national emergencies. Without it, police and emergency services are stretched far beyond their limits. One bad night, one major incident, and the entire system risks buckling under pressure. The world takes notice. Nations that have quietly watched Britain for decades suddenly see an opportunity that comes once in a century. Airspace goes unchallenged. Borders sit unguarded. Britain's nuclear submarines remain hidden beneath the waves, the only piece of its defense still standing. But a submarine, money starts to panic. Markets don't wait for permission to react. Investors pull out. The British pound drops as the world questions the stability of a nation that can no longer defend itself. Billions in defense contracts collapse in days, taking thousands of the shipyards fall silent. In towns built around the military, Portsmouth, Plymouth, and beyond, shipyards that once built the backbone of the Royal Navy now sit empty. For sale signs replace decades of history. Families who built their lives around defense jobs, doors that won't reopen. Recruitment offices across the country, the very places where new soldiers once began their journey, quietly close their doors. There's no one left to recruit into, no institution left to train them. An entire pipeline of national defense, a nation compared to its past. Look back just a few decades, and Britain's army marched with pride, disciplined, powerful, respected across the globe. Now, that same ground sits empty and silent. The contrast isn't just visual. It's a warning about how fragile even the strongest could Britain rebuild. History proves rebuilding an army takes years, not days. Recruitment, training, equipment, trust, none of it happens overnight. In the meantime, Britain would be forced to rely on emergency alliances, private contractors, and the goodwill of allies.